WWE Raw Recap, September 29th, 2025. Roman Reigns returns and reshapes the bloodline. The September 29th edition of Monday Night Raw will be remembered as the night Roman Reigns finally returned, shifting the bloodline saga into a new and dangerous direction. While the show featured multiple strong matches and crown jewel build-up, all roads led to the shocking closing moments, early highlights, and mid-card stories. The show opened with women's division drama, but the men's roster soon took center stage. LA Knight snapped his recent losing streak by defeating Kofi Kingston with the BF, drawing a huge crowd reaction and positioning himself back into contention for mid-card gold. Dominic Mysterio, still smug and opportunistic, retained his Intercontinental Championship against Rusev thanks to a low blow and a roll-up. The win once again showed that Dirty Dom can keep hold of the title, but only through trickery. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee picked up a victory against Los Americanos in a fast-paced tag bout, a match meant to showcase athleticism rather than push a major storyline. Backstage, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes traded verbal jabs. Rollins declared himself the architect of WWE's future, while Rhodes fired back, insisting he's carrying the company's legacy. Their rivalry continues to build toward an inevitable showdown at Crown Jewel. Bloodline fractures. The real intrigue of the night, however, came from the bloodline. 4 weeks. Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso have been at odds. Jey has become colder and more calculating, openly stating that helping others doesn't serve his ambitions. Jimmy, frustrated, accused his brother of abandoning the family bond that once defined them. Meanwhile, the Vision Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed have emerged as a major threat, targeting the USOs and trying to assert themselves as the new alpha team in WWE. Their brutal attacks left Jimmy especially vulnerable, setting the stage for the night's main event. Tornado Tag Chaos. In the closing match, the USOs faced Breaker and Reed in a tornado tag war. Chaos reigned from the opening bell tables were smashed, heavy slams rocked the ring, and Jimmy Uso was nearly destroyed through the announcer's desk. With Reed dominating and Breaker unleashing his explosive power, it seemed certain the USOs would fall. And then the arena exploded. Roman Reigns returns. Roman Reigns' music hit, and the roar of the crowd nearly shook the roof off the building. Steel chair in hand, the tribal chief stormed down to the ring for the first time in months. He wasted no time, smashing Breaker and Reed with brutal chair shots, clearing the ring in a fiery assault. With the playing field leveled, Jey and Jimmy recovered. Jey hit a spear on Breaker, followed by the USOs delivering a double USO splash for the win. The bloodline stood tall once again thanks to Roman. A chilling message. What followed may matter even more than the physical return. Roman turned to Jey, not Jimmy, and told him, "Ain't nobody going to give it to you, Taki." The words were both advice and a challenge, signaling that Roman sees Jey as the heir to his throne. When Roman and Jey embraced, it sent shockwaves through the crowd. Jimmy, left on the outside, looked both hurt and suspicious. The bloodline has reunited, but not on equal ground. Roman and Jey seem aligned, while Jimmy's future role looks uncertain. The seeds of betrayal and brotherly war have been planted. What this means, moving forward. Roman Reigns' return redefines WWE's landscape just weeks before Crown Jewel. His alliance with Jey, combined with Jimmy's growing resentment, sets up explosive possibilities, rivalries within the bloodline, battles with the Vision, and maybe even a confrontation with Seth Rollins or Cody Rhodes down the road. For the rest of the roster, the message was clear: Roman is back, and his shadow looms over every division in WWE. Final takeaway. Monday Night Raw on September 29th, 2025 wasn't just another weekly show, it was a turning point. The Bloodline saga entered a new chapter. LA Knight regained momentum. Rhodes and Rollins sharpened their feud. And the entire WWE universe was reminded that when Roman Reigns returns, nothing stays the same. The tribal chief is back. The empire lives. But for how long before it crumbles from within? The September 29th, 2025 edition of Monday Night Raw opened not with a bang, but with a tension thick enough to slice through steel. The crowd in Raleigh, North Carolina, was buzzing, not knowing exactly what would happen, but primed for something big. Over recent weeks, the WWE Universe had been watching the Bloodline storyline evolve, watching Jey Uso's transformation, the uneasy dynamic with Jimmy Uso, and the shadow of Roman Reigns looming ever larger. Even in absence, Roman had been off television since his brutal attack at Clash in Paris, where after defeating Bronson Reed, he was left laid out and stretchered out of the arena. During that time, the USOs had faced mounting pressure from the Vision Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed as challengers to their dominance. Would Roman's loss of presence weaken the bloodline forever? Or would his return blaze a new redefining alliances and power? The night's events would answer that dramatically. Act 1. The women's turmoil, opening fire. Before the main drama, Raw opened by revisiting one of the more volatile narratives. The fractured Kabuki warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane, and the emotional bond between Io and Rhea Ripley. Rhea, still reeling from last week's ambush, came out firing in the opening segment, daring Asuka and Sane to face her. When they didn't appear, Io Sky emerged. Instead, the tension obvious. Io's face betrayed conflict as she spoke gently to Ripley, telling her she still saw them as family, that she'd tried to warn Rhea about Asuka and Sane. Then, in a classic Asuka move, she sprayed poison mist directly into Io's face, a merciless, symbolic act. Io, in shock, backed away, and she and Rhea retreated together backstage. The seeds of betrayal and loyalty had been planted again. Later, after some mid-card match, Io would confirm that she had arranged through Raw Authority a tag match. Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Kabuki Warriors at Crown Jewel. The question loomed, would Io truly side with Rhea, or would her old ties with Asuka pull her back? As is customary, Raw filled out its card with several matches designed to advance multiples. Here are the key bits: Dominic Mysterio versus Rusev IC title. Mysterio scraped by with a low blow and roll-up, retaining his Intercontinental Championship. Raquel Rodriguez versus Bailey Rodriguez, won after interference by Perez. Bailey teetered between desperation and strategy, later aided by Lyra Valkyrie, who intervened as the attack intensified. La Knight versus and Kofi Kingston. Knight finally ended a long losing streak by hitting the BFT for the win, after earlier confrontations with the New Day and duel over future title ambitions. Ahota Styles y Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos. A showcase tag match, with Styles ultimately hitting a Styles Clash to get the win. A match built more for momentum and feel than heavy stakes. Throughout these bouts, backstage vignettes and promos were interspersed. Jay and Jimmy bickering about loyalty, Rollins and Cody Rhodes trading jabs about control and destiny, and the looming sense that Raw was stacking its pieces for an explosive collision at Crown Jewel. Act 3. Seeds of discord in the bloodline. Before the final segment, the tension backstage ripened. Jimmy confronted Jay, demanding an explanation for his aloofness, even accusing Jay of not helping during past troubles. Jay coldly replied that aiding others doesn't benefit him. The air between them soured, hinting that the cracks in the bloodline were deeper than ever. Meanwhile, the Vision Breaker and Reed targeted the USOs, trying to assert dominance in the tag division and chip away at the USO's aura of strength. Jimmy was laid out through the announcer's table in the Tornado tag match. Reed piled on the offense, and it looked like the USOs were on the verge of disaster. As the match spiraled into chaos, the arena's tension peaked. That's when the familiar chords of Roman's music cut through the noise and the roof, figuratively blew off the building. He stormed out with a steel chair, ready for war. Act 4. The Return. Roman Reigns strikes back. Roman's return was dramatic, instantaneous, and unapologetic. He didn't ease in. He stormed into the ring, cheering on, then laid waste to Breaker and Reed. Each blow resonated as a message. The tribal chief was back and prepared to settle old scores. With Reed and Breaker reeling, the USOs regrouped. Jimmy, battered though he was, joined his brother. Jay hit a spear on Breaker. Jimmy got some offense too, and the USOs executed a double USO splash onto Breaker for the pin and the victory in the Tornado tag match. Rise Mysterio, Rusev Mysterio's win, though shady, reinforces his cunning as a heel. Rusev, despite the loss, remains a credible threat. CBSSports.com, Cody Rhodes vs. Seth Rollins. Their verbal altercation tonight, Rollins claiming he defines WWE's future. Rhodes pushing back adds narrative layers to their meet at Crown Jewel. Roman Reigns' return on Raw, September 29, 2025, was not just a surprise, it's a statement. It confirmed that the Bloodline saga is far from over. It accelerated Jay's evolution, jeopardized Jimmy's standing, and shifted the balance of power. Every storyline, men's, women's, mid-card, no orbits. This gravitational shift. Going into Crown Jewel, nothing is safe. Titles, alliances, loyalties there. All on the line, and whether Roman remains a stabilizing force or reignites more chaos, one thing is clear. Raw was the launching pad for a new era in WWE storytelling.